Hello, my name is Nathan, and today I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I believe you should invest in real estate in Montenegro and why we are investing in Montenegro. So stay tuned and here we go. We are on a journey to find real estate deals in places of utmost beauty. Entry-priced luxury properties that are undervalued or deliver high short-term rental revenue, what we call Blue Vista properties. We've bought, sold, renovated or leased high-end properties or land in stunning locations around the world. Come with us as we explore new locations, develop new projects, explain our methodology, and share the learnings along our journey. Have you ever been to a place where you think to yourself, wow, if I had only bought here 15 years ago, what a deal it would have been? And I've been to so many places: Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Chile, just places where I visited and people told me the price they bought 15 years ago. And I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. Well, I believe Montenegro is a place where if you buy today, in 15 years, you'll be telling yourself and others will be saying, wow, I wish I had bought, and you'll be very happy you bought. And that's really one of those places. So that's the question we like to ask ourselves at Blue Vista Properties. Where are locations that are absolutely beautiful? We believe they're undervalued, great capital appreciation opportunity, and in 15 years, you'll be looking back thinking that was one of the best investments you've made. And I'm absolutely convinced that Montenegro is one of those places. I'm gonna give you 10 reasons why. So, let's jump in. Number one, incredible natural beauty. Like, we just went on a trip, we're just blown away. We had researched, I've been looking at a lot of locations around the world, been traveling extensively, and when we arrived, we were really blown away about how beautiful it is. You have the Kotor Bay with the ocean coming in, the mountains just coming down, straight down onto the water. You have the old Kotor town, a UNESCO World Heritage listed as one of the most beautiful old fortress cities. Just absolutely stunning. You have Domitor National Park. So on one side you have Kotor Bay with the bay and beautiful, and then you go a little bit up north in the mountains with ski resorts, mountain lakes, rivers, canyons, beautiful forests. So incredible, just a beautiful national park, but just the whole area with the mountains. You have Lake Skadar, which is one of the largest lakes in the Balkan Peninsula with over 500 square kilometers, hundreds of bird species. You can go on beautiful boat rides to explore it. You have the Adriatic Sea coastline, just the open Adriatic, beautiful, just all along with little towns. You got Stevi Stefan, just absolutely beautiful. Went to this little town in Petrovac, excuse if I pronounce it wrong, Budva, down to bars, absolutely stunning. Number two, very important. So, it's a small country with a stable political system. And when I mean small country, it's small in size and also in inhabitants, just a little over 600,000 people. And it's a relatively young country. It was formed in 2006. And it's considered as an upper middle income economy, and it's ranking number 48th in the Human Development Index, which factors in life expectancy, education, per capita income indicators. Now you might wonder, is 48 good? I can give you some other countries that rank on this index. You could see Portugal is at 38, Croatia at 43, but also you have like Turkey 54 or Costa Rica 62. So in fact, 48 is a very good ranking for a place that has good quality of life. All right, and also it's a member of UN, NATO, and the World Trade Organization. All right, number three, low cost of living. And this is a real important reason to consider buying in Montenegro and to consider to move there or retire there. We went to buy groceries, we were just amazed. Buy a pack of cheese, sliced cheese, a big pack like this. You expect in Europe to pay 4 euros, 90 cents. We like to compare prices of certain items. So let's just take something that everybody knows, a pizza margherita, right? So we went to a restaurant, Petrovac, right on the water, beautiful, 5 euros 50. Again, other restaurants, Porto Montenegro, beautiful, it's gonna be 6-7 euros. That's incredible in terms of price. There's also what we call the vodka index. What's the price of an entry-level vodka, Absolute Smirnoff, one of those, one shot. So we were in Porto Montenegro, very modern development, luxurious development. We go to this little bar, live music playing. We look at the prices, €3.50. We go to the yacht club, very high-end, beautiful location with giant swimming pool, these lounge chairs, you can just tell it's just luxurious. We check the prices, €5.50. I mean, anywhere else, you go around the world, you'd be paying 3-4 times those prices. But you might say, I don't care about pizza or vodka. Okay, price of rent. You want a one-bedroom apartment, you can find for 200 to 300 euros. Of course, depending on the location, if you're in the city center, it's going to vary. But still, it kind of gives you an indication of what you can get. There's a great website called Numbeo, numbeo.com. And there you can see all the different prices. So you can go check it out. We don't make any commission if you go, just check it out. But you have costs of restaurants, grocery store items, transportation, utilities, etc. So really important reason, the number 3. Now, before we move to number 4, just if you're new to the channel, and we're new to YouTube, so just send us a sign by subscribing. We're going to be having some more videos about the process of buying in Montenegro, the process of acquiring and building, but also other beautiful places of stunning beauty. Places like looking at Greek islands, Sardinia, and other places in the world that are absolutely stunning. So make sure you subscribe or put some comments or questions. All right, let's move to number 4, low taxes. Now this is a massive reason why you should consider buying. If you want to relocate there or even just invest there, or open a company there, it is a flat rate, 9%. Did you hear me? 9%. And that is for domestic or foreign companies. And the same applies to personal taxation. And if you spend more than 6 months there, you're considered a resident. Now, note, capital gains tax, 9%. Again, you invest, you flip a property, 9%. When you look at what's happening in other places around the world, look in the United States with the changes coming and the discussions about changing the taxes, how diversified are you? Wouldn't it make sense to go somewhere or even maybe relocate your company to in a beautiful location with low taxes? Reason number 5, low cost of land and properties. Now, I was amazed at the prices. We saw a small house, 70 square meters, 2 bedrooms, overlooking the bay. Just 180 view of the ocean, just out there, the Kotor Bay, just beautiful blue, okay? Rooftop terrace, going for 90,000 euros. Now, that property in the south of France, I can tell you, will be minimum 600,000 euros. And you can get, so just beautiful property. Now it needed a bit of a refreshing, but the potential, just every room, just overlooking the water, just incredible. Now, everywhere we've been looking at prices of land, prices of properties. And, we were in a beautiful island of Corsica, just absolutely stunning. You want a plot of land, no view whatsoever. You're looking at 300,000 euros. Then you add on the cost to build and you're going to be at the 700, 800, 1 million range really rapidly. So the rule we have at Blue Vista Properties, and we try, and it's harder and harder to find, is to try to find land at 150 or below. Ideally below $100,000, but sometimes to get the beautiful view you need to go up, right? In fact, in Montenegro, you can find beautiful land overlooking the water for about 80,000, 85,000 euros. That's just absolutely stunning. So now consider this. Cost to build. Now we ask a lot of people, they say between 700 to 1,000, depends. So let's just say we take 1,000 euros per square meter, key in hand, right? Finished project. So if you buy the land for 85,000, yeah, let's say just another 50 for taxes and costs and closing and architect, just some of this upfront costs that you're gonna have, surveying, etc. Okay, and that's going really wide. 200 square meters of 1,000, that's 200,000 euros to build the house. Just imagine, architect house, infinity pool, giant windows overlooking the water, right? 200,000, add the 85 for the land, the 50 for other costs, you got 325. What do you get for 325,000 euros? Now I lived in Miami Beach for a little while. We're in a big giant condo, an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment overlooking the Intracoastal Bay, okay? You look at $700,000. Not overlooking the ocean, overlooking the Intracoastal. And on top of that, you're spending what? 1,200 maintenance fees per month. So I love to look at comps. Now, you might say, That same apartment in LA will be even higher. Absolutely right. But my point of view is if you can get under $400,000 a house in a stunning location, now we're talking, those are very interesting comps. And you can find really some great, we visited what? 15, 20 different plots, different options. We actually narrowed down to 4 or 5 that were just absolutely stunning, great deals that we would say, it takes time, you have to do your research, find the right location, go through the paperwork, but just some amazing opportunities are available right now. And we met a whole network of realtors, lawyers, architects, builders, to really, you could go from A to Z there, and it's very, very, very safe investment. And that's gonna be one of the few other reasons I'm gonna share. All right, access and climate, reason number 6. It's in the Adriatic Sea, just south of Croatia. So Mediterranean climate, hot, dry summers, and moderately cold winter months. Just wonderful. And you have access, 3 international airports. So you got Podgorica, I cannot pronounce it, I believe that's wrong, but Podgorica or Podgorica. International airport, you got Tivat, both in Montenegro, and you have Dubrovnik in Croatia, which is actually 45-minute drive from Tivat. So you have 3 airports and you have flights within 1 stop. You can hit pretty much any European city. And in the high season, you have direct flights to places like Berlin or Paris in 2.5 hours. So really great location and access. All right, point number 7, the future of work. And I believe there's a fundamental shift taking place in since the crisis. So you see, in the past, you purchased a second property, second home somewhere, vacation home. How often would you use it? You would head out there, 2 weeks in the summer, a few long weekends here and there. But now, with companies changing their approach to where you work, your kids are on school holiday, you might be able to say, you know what, I'll take 2 weeks holiday in my home and I'm gonna work for there for 3 weeks. So now you're gonna go 5 weeks. Or you go, there's a long weekend, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna go for the long weekend and I'll work remotely for 3 days or 4 days and I'll be the whole following week. It opens up just whole new possibilities. And this is a fundamental shift which is gonna impact the market, and we are seeing it as we speak. Prices in Florida, in Southern Florida, Miami area, Tampa, are just through the roof. Arizona, places of beauty, places of sunshine, people are going and buying. Now, I grew up in Switzerland. I've been watching the Swiss market for a very long time. An hour and a half drive from Geneva, you got the Valais with all the ski resorts. There were small little chalets on the market for 2 years. They were not moving. They're going for 500, 600, nice little chalet, small, but little apartments also, nothing happening. Crisis hit. Suddenly they're going within a day or 2 days. Everybody's realizing what changed. So before I went, I battled traffic on a Friday night. I went there Saturday, and then Sunday night I battled traffic back. Right now, they'll go Friday night, they'll spend Friday, Saturday. They'll work remotely Monday, Tuesday, and then come back. It just opens up. So the big question is, you might be, we're all afraid, did we miss the wave? Did, maybe I'm too late. So here's the question I'm gonna ask you is, what percent of all the people who could potentially invest in a second home in real estate have made the move? I can tell you, it's a tiny percentage. It's just starting. We're very often not that good at looking at macro trends, taking the helicopter view. I can tell you this is a fundamental shift in how we work and where we work from. Imagine, you could base yourself in Montenegro, go for a week up to Berlin, be in offices, be back down in Montenegro and work remotely the rest of the time. There is a fundamental shift taking place, and what it means is that places that have access and that are beautiful are gonna go up. All right, reason number 8. It's a small-sized country. You can go everywhere within a day. Now, that means you can go from beaches to mountains to historical old towns, 30, 45 minutes, 1 hour, okay, maybe max 2.5 hours. That means on the weekend you can go. Look, I love mountains. I love hiking. Claudia loves beaches, she loves lakes, she loves forests, and she loves hiking too. So within a day, we can pick. We can go to one, we can go to the beach, we can sit on the side of a restaurant, have some fresh fish, have a glass of rosé. Or the next day we get up and we drive a little bit north and we're in the mountains. by rivers and lakes. Just many places when you travel on holiday, you don't have that diversity. You go and it's one style of holiday. So that's one reason. Reason number 8, small size, you can go anywhere within a day. Number 9, amazing things to do. Okay, so now you have a secondary home, and I hear a lot of people say as criticism to say, I don't want to go on holiday always to the same location. But you don't have to. Because if you're doing Airbnb and renting out your place and you set it up to rent out, that's the business we specialize in. You have an area that you lock with your personal belongings, amazing. You fly down there just with a carry-on, you have your gear, you have what you want, locked out, you rent it out. You don't have to go. You can use the rental revenue from your place and rent somewhere else on Airbnb. So it doesn't limit you. So I don't believe that's an argument. The second thing is with sites like Home Exchange, you can actually exchange your home for somewhere else. I was contacted by someone in Australia, had this incredible architect's house overlooking the water and said, hey, I'm interested. At the time I had a property in south of France, and he said, hey, in Provence, I want to exchange my home for your home. It just opens up a world of possibilities. So it's not because you're buying a second home in one location that you have to spend all your time in that location. I said amazing things to do, right? So what are the type of things to do? Because if you go in one place, you only have one type of activity. But in Montenegro, you can go to the beach, you can go snorkeling, go boating, in the winter, go skiing, go mountain biking, hiking, fishing, river rafting, or you know what, you want to go shopping. And with the new developments, there's some beautiful boutiques and stores that have opened up. So you can actually go out and do some shopping. You know what, you want some dining. Whether you want cheap or fine dining, there's beautiful in these developments. The Lustica Bay development. You have Porto Montenegro, but you have a lot of other ones with some beautiful dining options. So the amount of things to do is just amazing. Now, number 10, 10th reason, and this is very important, and that's why it's the number 10, is what are the future prospects? Do you want to put money and invest, and in 4 years' time, there's a political coup or something changes? So what's the future? Where is Montenegro going? And in fact, this is super interesting, is they have applied to join the European Union, right? And it's expected that about by 2025, they're gonna join. And even if it's 2027, imagine what's gonna happen when Montenegro joins the European Union. You know, right now, we were telling friends, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. We loved it there. We did not expect it to be that beautiful. People said, Montenegro where? Montenegro what? Montenegro is not yet on the maps. Now, tourism before the crisis, double-digit growth every year. It's coming. People are going to start saying, hey, you know, do you want to go to Greece? You want to go to southern Italy? You want to go to Croatia? You know, why not Montenegro? I can tell you, it's going to be happening. But when Montenegro enters, because it's not a if, but a when the European Union, imagine what's going to happen. And the future prospect's important, because the last thing you want to do is go put up money into a country, a location, and find yourselves 4 or 5 years down the line, and you really realized, you know, massive change of situation. By moving towards entering the European Union, it's just an incredible safety. And you know what it means is when it enters, there's going to be a lot of eyes, TV programs talking about Montenegro, showing the beauty. What it's going to do, it's going to be more people are going to be going, more people are going to be interested, money's going to come in. You know what that does? It pushes the prices up. And your investment in Montenegro is going to go up. Nothing is guaranteed, but I can tell you, based on all the signs, this is a really, really interesting investment. And you know what? I wouldn't be putting my hard-earned money if I didn't believe it. When we say we believe in something, it's not just to sell a concept and an idea. We start by looking, where would we put our own dollars? Where would we go? What are the places we believe the numbers make sense? And we run a whole bunch of numbers. We look at occupancy rates, you know, price per square meter, building costs, permitting, legal situation, like how easy it is to acquire, etc., etc. We do all this legwork to pick the locations. So if you're interested to find out more, please again, subscribe to the channel, put some comments, ask us some questions. We're going to be documenting a lot more about our experience. We're also going to be showcasing some of the beautiful lots we've seen and visited, but there's so much opportunity there. So stay tuned and we'll be seeing you very soon.